In today's episode of the Hospitality Huddle, I have the great joy of talking with Alexia Kalis. She's the CEO of Kalis Hospitality Group with 7 properties across Tasmania. She'll be talking with us about how to have a long, successful, joyful career in hospitality. She and her family have been in the biz for nearly 3 decades, and she might share some tips and tricks for how to stay out of the weeds. And she might even talk about some of the amazing culinary experiences of Tasmania, and it might make you want to book a trip. Alexia Kalis, I'm so thrilled to talk to you today. Thank you very much for joining Hospitality Huddle. I really, really appreciate your time because I know you've got a lot on running your empire.
My pleasure, Shannon.
So I genuinely appreciate your time. So from memory, I think, Alexia, you went off for a few minutes and pursued a degree. Was it project management in IT? And then you came back.
So for information systems. Yeah, so I went and did, I was a stubborn girl who said, no, I'm not going to work with my family. I'm going to go do my own thing, and found my way into information systems and creating system-based results and processes, and very, very non-creative concept. But my background also was I used to do drama and graphic design. So I have a bit of a combo brain sense. And when I finished my degree in little old Tasmania, where I am, it basically meant I had to leave. So there was no role in this kind of area. And so as I'm starting to apply for jobs in Melbourne and Sydney, I got pulled into the business by my father, in a disguise of, can you please help me? And then
so
I
it begins.
actually realized how much I love business. And so then I realized, hold on, I can use everything I've learned. I can be creative. I can be the master of my own domain. So what am I doing? Why would I work somewhere else? So that's how I got into the family.
So that sounds to me like the perfect pedigree and the perfect set of experience for a successful career in hospitality. Drama, process management, creativity, IT, and project management.
Yeah.
That's hospitality right there.
Yeah, exactly right. It's allowed me to be adaptive over so many different ways, and actually be able to be very logical, but then also be very creative. So it's been really good.
I'm curious, between hotels, accommodation, and the pubs and restaurants in your business throughout Tasmania, which of those business models sort of keeps you the most on your toes? And why do you torture yourself with all of it? Why do you torture yourself with accommodation and food and beverage and the pubs? What keeps you the most on your toes, and why do you torture yourself?
I think what keeps me most on the toe has to always be food and beverage, mainly food, because you're always having to pivot and match. But like 90% of what people actually eat is only 30% of your menu, but 70% has to be recreated ever so often. And whatever the trends are, and allergens and things like that. So what keeps you on my toes is probably that one, because you know that what you're doing might not actually bring dollars in, but it will, because it's bringing them in, even though they'll still have the steak or the chicken schnitzel in our world of pubs. I really enjoy it. I like being agile. I don't like doing one thing that's continuous all the time. So for me, continually thinking is actually my brain trust. Like, I can't do something that is ABC forever. I need to move on. And give me another project. And I need to project manage my own projects continuously, because that's actually how I can keep it going.
You know, I was talking with a hospitality school student the other day who's, they have done an internship and a couple of little jobs in hotels throughout going to hotel school. And when I was asking, what kind of a job and what kind of a career they were going to pursue, they said, well, I really enjoy, when everything is the same and when I have the same kind of day every day and I can kind of get used to it. And I thought, oh no, you're in pursuing. Let me talk to you about a vocational pivot. Because no 2 days are ever going to be the same.
Yeah. No, exactly. I love problem solving. It's part of the fun of it all. Like, or trying to find how to adapt to something new or new weather or anything. Like it's part of excitement of hospitality is actually being agile.
So on the topic of food and beverage, then, and you just mentioned schnitzel then, and I remember having a schnitzel in one of your places in Tasmania. I still think about it. So Tasmania sort of punches above its weight in food and wine and the gin and the whiskey and the cheese and the leatherwood honey and all those things that Tasmania is so good at. So I'm curious, how do you kind of balance showcasing the local Tassie producers, but then managing costs and consistency across all your venues? And also, I understand if you don't want to answer that because you probably have secrets you don't want to share publicly, and that's cool.
No, not at all. I think the key is don't try to do everything. You just can't. So I spoke before about 30% of the menu is what people eat. So be conscious of what you're actually highlighting. So if it's a really popular dish, you need to be careful and it costs a little bit more. If it's not as much of a popular dish, it's okay because the other ones will help that cost structure. So in Tassie, they love Tassie scallops. Like we're very much about the crumb scallops in Tasmania, and like if I don't have Tasmanian scallops on the menu, there's something wrong. So yeah, so I've got to manage that because that's actually a popular dish, but also I need it to be Tasmanian. So it is about going, well, you know what? They just have to pay the price for it because that's sometimes you have to. But on the other side, if I have oysters or certain cheeses or things like that, I might actually lose a little bit of margin, but balance it out from the whole scope of the menu. And that's how I work it. Same goes with drinks. Yeah. It's, I can't pour every Tasmanian wine, but I can have bottles available. I can, have options. So as long as the options are there and that you're actually rounding out your thing, well, you want to support as much Tasmanian as you can. And the other way is actually logistics and how we buy things. So if we do get something, we'll try to centralize a buying agreement. So then that way we're middling out the middleman, we're reducing the expenses of distribution. And so that way we're getting the best price possibly for those products as well. So it doesn't always work, but we try our best to do as much as we can.
I would imagine, maybe you'll tell me I'm wrong about this, but I would imagine that you and your family, having been in the business as long as you have, almost 3 decades, that obviously gives you, the street smarts and the understanding of distribution and procurement. Yeah. And also the fact that you've got so many properties means you've got the leverage to be able to negotiate. But if you were giving advice, say, to a brand new owner operator or someone who's just getting into the business who has one property that has 10 rooms or just starting out that maybe doesn't have those street smarts and procurement savvy and negotiating power, I mean, there must be elements of what you just described that they can also tap into. Yeah.
It'd be more to that beginning bit. Don't try to do everything. Like pick 1 to 2. Like if you're doing a wine list, make sure your spread is across different price points. When sometimes it is a boutique product, price it accordingly, but don't pour it. Like make sure it's a bottle and there's no wastage or things like that. So absolutely have a range. That's why you should never go somewhere and have only one region on a wine list. It doesn't happen because they have to mix and mingle and work it out. And there's also ways to deal with it. I know like with spirits to become a first pull, for example, you can actually talk to your local distillers and they might be able to give you a bulk price. So I know that we used to do that quite a lot when our first pour gin, to keep it being Tasmanian, the brand would let us buy it in 5-litre refillable containers that they would swap out with us, and then allowed us to have as a first pull. Whereas if I was buying the bottled product, that would never
sounds
happen.
To me like it has a lot to do with the relationships that you have, right? And the way that your business, Kalis Hospitality manages that relationship.
And it only works with smaller bespoke producers. They'll be willing to do things to get volume in with you, but obviously you just got to work with them and create relationships. So that's the main.
And it sounds to me as though, like when you describe having the really good Tassie scallops and the good whiskey, but also having a schnitzel and having that range of options in the food and beverage space. Is it right that that then accommodates the market segmentation on the room side of the business, right? Because, there's choices.
Yeah.
You don't have to choose the luxury
That's right.
scallops. You
Yeah.
don't have to choose the $1,200 a night
No.
cabin. There's choices and there's options. And so in that way, you're
That's
able to accommodate
exactly.
all the different market segments in the rooms as well, right? Because you need customers that want to
Exactly.
buy an accommodation experience for $100, but then you also want the $1,000 a night customer too. So does that sort of help
100%.
balance the rooms market segmentation also for the ones who stay?
Absolutely. Like, I think it is as, yeah, you have to have different levels. You have to have different offers. You have to display what you're doing in all parts of hospitality because, we also have retail bottle shops. It's the
right, of
same
course.
thing in that area too. You're going to have everything in a range because, as you said, a customer is going to have their
Yes.
needs and wants. And, unless you're a really boutique, bespoke venue or operation that is only going for this exact
Yes.
market segment, you're going for as much as you possibly can. So you try to cover as many different areas. So yeah, that's absolutely the right way.
And I know myself when I'm a traveler, like as a revenue management trainer, the way I train my clients is that, like, if your price goes so low that I can afford it, it's too cheap. But also, like,
Yeah.
I mean, individual travelers like me, for instance, if I go to the Crown Plaza in Hobart on business and someone else is paying for it, there's a very different willingness to pay. And I might want a different room type and I might want to
exactly.
upgrade. But if it's a personal trip for myself, I'm a cheapskate and I'm a different kind
Yeah.
of market segment. Even
Yeah.
though I'm the same profile
Yeah.
in your PMS, my willingness to
100%.
pay
100%.
varies depending on my reason for travel and what segment I might fall into, right?
That's right. 100%.
A question for you about Tasmania, because it does, from a tourism perspective, it does behave a bit differently to the Big Island, right? To the rest of Australia. So if tourism,
Mhm.
the
The
mainland,
mainland,
yes,
as we call it. We call
mainland.
it mainland.
So
Yes.
Tasmania's tourism landscape, it sure, to me, sure has evolved quite dramatically, I think. So I'm curious, since you're immersed in it, what changes have maybe surprised you the most? And are there any tourism shifts that you wish you could have predicted if you had a magic crystal ball?
Yeah, I think it was interesting. I thought being through, obviously we had the growth of Mona and
Yes.
all these other things, but what actually, they were things that people just looked at because they were amazing. But what actually was that growth that made it was things like whiskey distributors and producers and our gin producers and our cheeses and all those kind of things. And like we've always known and we've always had that around. So I think for me, the surprise was how important they became. So, everyone puts really big status to Mona, to Salamaker markets, but without the producers, without all of these people creating across our landscape, I don't believe Tasmania is Tasmania. So we have nature, which is amazing, obviously. And so I think what came by surprise is the growth of those and the international regards. So, as a traveler myself, traveling, to hear people actually saying to me they have heard and tasted Tasmanian whiskey, or like I could be anywhere, or wines, and they talk about our sparklings and things like that. That's pretty amazing. So I don't think I've ever understood that power and how that actually has spread across the world. But that's been around for such a long time. So I think it's just that's probably what surprised me the most is how much influence they have, and that now every tourist wants to come here and do that.
Long may it last.
The biggest thing they want to do is eat. Yeah. That's right. They want to shop, eat, drink, experience. Like that's what they want to do. So I suppose for me, where I could have, like if I knew,
if you were psychic,
probably work with these people in partner. If I was psychic, I probably would have worked with 2 or 3 creators and actually worked with them to connect my properties with them a little bit more from the get-go. So, like we're all trying to do collabs now, like everyone's doing it. So to being one of the first people to be able to do a collaboration with, you know, a whiskey or a beer or anything like that would have been pretty magical, because that would have actually set you up in a better state.
Yes,
but,
because
yeah, that's the crystal ball.
we certainly observed, you know, during the COVID era, much more so than the BC era before COVID, that a lot of operators in all markets, in all countries, in all regions, because no one could stay in our rooms and accommodation just wasn't, nobody was staying, nobody was traveling. And so out of necessity, we were forced, and a lot of hoteliers got very creative and very agile, and they were forced to find other ways to create some revenue flow and generate some income. So they were bottling their sauces, and the chef was getting creative and making things and selling it to the locals. And, you know, if you had a local government area that was allowing people to come in, but maybe not stay. And then it seems like a lot of hoteliers figured out, oh, well, that wasn't so hard. And then after COVID, when the rooms started flowing and the rooms revenue started, you know, coming in again, all of those ancillary revenue and bespoke collabs that had kept the lights on during COVID, that was like, oh, well, this is actually working really well. And that wasn't so hard. I just integrated a thing on my website and the customers like it. And now I'm getting all this. So we'll just keep it. And so, you know, again, born out of necessity. And then we keep it because guess what? It worked.
It works. Yeah.
You mentioned yourself just then being a traveler. And I'm curious, I happen to know that following your own recent, very well-deserved holiday adventure in Glastonbury, and after years of being in the hospitality industry yourself, I'm so curious to know what your personal strategy is for finding and booking accommodation for yourself, because you're in the biz. And especially when you're booking something as wild and amazing as Glastonbury, that's all these different moving parts. How do you find and book accommodation yourself?
I think I have a bit of a system, and that
because
might
of course
be
you
the system person inside me. But look, I think the start is I just want to understand what the feeling I want. What is it how I want to experience? So I've got to work out my tone. What is the tone of the holiday that I want to achieve? Is it going to be adventurous? Is it going to be luxurious? Is it going to be, so find out my tone. So when I understand what I want that trip to be, I have a go-to. I always buy the Lonely Planet for that place. So I'll always do that. So I have my tone, and then I go straight to the Lonely Planet. I understand their tone, and I listen to what they're trying to tell me, and I start to build my picture of what that trip is. I then usually go and watch a couple of YouTube videos or food documentaries, like No Reservations or anything like that, or Somebody Feed Phil, which they're all quite silly and fun, but they just give you different pictures. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is achieve what is it that I feel I want to achieve out of this place. And then when I feel comfortable with that, lately I'm using AI. So I'm actually going to ChatGPT in my stance and then actually telling it what I'm looking for, because now I know. So now I know what the tone is. Now I know how I want to feel, the size, the luxury, the dollars. Like I've got a picture of what I want to do. And by prompting correctly, I'm getting some really great things. And I tend to like small, bespoke, separate, non-big hotel concepts. So I like to be ground into a culture, and I like to feel as close to a community as possible, with certain luxuries. So that's basically what I do. And now I'm finding that they give me so many really good examples by doing it that way. And then it's always going directly to websites. So I avoid, when I can, the channels first point, because I think they sell you what they want to sell you. Whereas this way I've kind of got myself a link and I go through and start experiencing. And if they don't have a web presence or an Instagram presence or anything, then I probably will go to one of the
Yes.
channels to look at it. But yeah, generally it's trying to get the tone. I have to feel that the venue matches my tone.
I heard you say something really important then about the prompts and how important the correct prompt
Yeah.
is, right?
Mhm.
And, you know, everyone has a different relationship with their AI bot, but it does come down to giving it the right prompts and making it go and do the hard legwork, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually only very recently found another point, and I'm not even sure if it's only part of ChatGPT 5, but if you are paying for your subscription, you can actually put it into thinking mode.
Yes.
And if you put it into thinking mode, you get a lot more conscious thinking responses, not just quick answers.
Yes.
So you start to prompt differently because it's actually understanding your meaning a lot more. And that's been fantastic. So the results I'm getting out of that is been amazing.
Yes.
Like really, really, really in depth. So it's been really good.
So speaking of travel and hospitality concepts, let's say if someone handed you a blank check tomorrow to open your own dream holiday concept anywhere in the world, like blank check doesn't matter, expense doesn't matter, anywhere on this earth or anywhere in the universe, like what would you do? Blank check, dream hospitality concept. Where would you put it? What would it look like? Alexia Kalis, you creative youth.
I struggle to tell you where, but
Doesn't
I
matter.
can tell you things around it. So it's going to be warm because I love warm places.
Yes.
So it's going to be near nature.
Yep.
It's going to be really small, like really small. So I would want to create something that the customer actually feels is an experience connection that has part of culture. I'd like to be somewhere that there's good culture, obviously good food.
Yes.
And when they come into it and it's more than just a stay or a dinner, it's actually an experience to them. And for me, it would be, something that they come to and it's almost a pilgrimage that they want to keep on doing. So creating a community that keeps on coming back because it is something so special that they hold dear.
And that takes, in my experience and observation, that takes a lot of very highly trained, motivated, special kind of hospitality staff to pull off that kind of experience and make it look easy and also deliver. And having been to a few of your properties in Tasmania, I actually know that you do that. So if you're willing to share, and this is a question you might not want to answer because you probably have your own secrets you might want to share, but what is your secret weapon for keeping staff motivated in an industry that, let's face it, hospitality is known for high turnover. We don't pay $1 million a day. I mean, especially in such a seasonal market as most parts of Tasmania are. Any secret weapons for keeping staff motivated?
The easiest thing I can say, and you'll hear me continually say this kind of thing, it's all about community, connection, family, that whole responsiveness, actually listening to someone at all levels and making sure that, I'm not sitting in my office up here. I'm actually making sure that I'm talking to everybody and connecting. If they need to say something, I'm going to listen. I'm going to give them time and work on it. And I'm going to get feedback, and I continually want to get feedback and act on it. So I think if you keep on doing that, people can actually see that you're trying, and they will then try because you're trying. And it's worked for me because I've created a nice family around me. We've really worked hard, and hopefully they'd start to love the venue they're working in with as much passion as you're showing. And then that way they're actually, working towards doing it like their own business and their own connection. And it's a joy to come to work. Doesn't always work. We all know I can have all of the things in place, but when you have one or two people that just shine and they do that, you got to hold them, and you got them hold them hard.
Yes.
And take them with you, because that's really important.
It sure is, and it can be contagious, right? I mean, we've seen it over and over and over, and I've been observing this in my 35 years working in hotels, is that, if you have someone, especially in a leadership role in a hotel, which, back to the drama, we all kind of love a good drama in hotels. But if you have someone in a leadership role that clearly doesn't love the gig and isn't joyful in the job and doesn't kind of love it when there's a drama or a puzzle to solve or problems, if there's someone that doesn't actually love it, that makes it so much harder. And, you know, my favorite
100%.
hotel managers and front office managers and bosses and GMs that I've ever worked with have been the ones that really loved the job.
I actually said with my team the other day, I gave them this scenario. We were discussing this exact topic. And I said, you have a senior staff member who's ticking the boxes, that's serving the customers, that's doing everything A, B, C correct, but there's no smile on their face and they're just doing. And then you have a second one that might do a couple of little mistakes, but is smiling, warm and connected. Who do you think the customer actually is going to enjoy? The person who's doing everything perfect for the back of a house?
Yes.
Or the person they're actually making them feel warm and connected?
Yes.
Then they all understood, because I kept on, one of the things we can do in our industry is get stuck in the administration, into the operation. And we've got to remember that that's not what the customer sees.
No.
We see it because we're here every day, but the customer sees the feel, they feel the connection, and that's what you want to keep on doing. So the challenge is to find those people that have personality, that have love and care. And if they aren't great at the admin, it's okay.
That part can be
Work
taught,
with them.
right?
That can be taught, exactly. And or you can adjust, and it's okay, because what you can't teach someone is to really connect with someone.
Yes.
And that's a natural part of being, and that's hospitality.
Like a good hotel PMS system, right? There's some things they
That's
just have to come pre-configured with some elements, and other things we can, you know, train and we can put on a new integration support, but they have to come pre-configured.
Exactly.
If you could give your early careers a piece of advice, maybe thinking back to when your family first opened your first venue, your first property, is there a piece of advice that you might give, or maybe tell that version of you to ignore something, or, oh yeah, that thing's going to happen, don't fret about it?
I just listened to a TED talk the other day, and she said this phrase, fake it till you become it.
Oh, I love that.
I loved it. And I actually realized it really connected and resonated with me, because as you know, from what we've discussed, I didn't come from hospitality. I didn't come from accommodation. I didn't come from this world whatsoever. And all I did was exactly that. I kept on trying. I kept on asking. And the key is continually ask, make mistakes, learn from the mistakes, and throw it away then. Don't keep on reflecting in the past, moving forward. There's a really good video of Federer talking about the same thing. If he keeps on reflecting on the point that he's lost, he wouldn't have been able to win the next however many Grand Slams after that. So you have to keep on working forward. So take things on, learn, question everything, and know that when you're learning, it's okay. But all of the sudden, I think I was faking it, and then all of a sudden I did become it, and then now I'm doing a podcast with you. So it's you know, it's not something that 30 years ago anyone would have asked me, because I was asking those questions. I was questioning everything. I had mentors around me, which I actually think was one of the best things I ever did. Seek and find people that are in the industry that you want to learn from. Doesn't matter if they're in your business, anywhere. I mean, I had the most amazing chef who had nothing to do with our business whatsoever, who taught me everything about costing, food, just everything. So I can walk into any kitchen and challenge a chef on the performance of a kitchen now, because I have that.
I love that.
I talked to our banker, and I had a really nice relationship with him, and I got him to make me understand how it worked and what do they need as a business out of it. So it is, find your mentors and fake it till you become it, because all of a sudden you will one day look back and go, hold on, I did it. And it'll just come naturally.
I love that.
Yeah, I really liked it. It really resonated.
I might have to adopt that and steal it from you as one of my mantras. I'll give you full credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a final toast. If you were raising a glass or raising your Bishner Tasmania coffee cup, as I am today. Thank you for that, by the way, Dairy Penguins. If you were raising a glass to celebrate hospitality workers everywhere, what would your toast be?
I think it would be something like, raise a glass to having each other's backs, to being there.
So important, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
To getting out of the weeds, to watching and being part of a community, to supporting each other, for every front of house person, every dishy, every chef, every house cleaner. You're backing each other up and becoming a team and becoming a community in the face of what you do. So cheers to you all.
Cheers. And in fact, I love that you use that phrase, in the weeds.
Yeah.
And whenever I catch myself using that phrase to someone who's never worked in a hotel, I always feel like they look at me like, huh, in the weeds. And I realize that's kind of a secret tribe hospitality huddle, secret tribal kind of phrase, in the weeds, which is, well, what's your description of, oh my God, I'm in the weeds?
Yeah, it's like you've just frazzled and you just can't deal with what's going on, and someone needs to come and let you have a 30-second reprise. Like, I'm in the weeds. It's overwhelming. I've overwhelmed myself. I need to go outside. I need to get some fresh air, and then I come back in. Like deep breath time. Like that's in the weeds. And, in any service, any kitchen, front of house, whatever it might be, there's a point where there's just everything happening and a couple of mistakes happen, which is fine and it's normal, but you just can't let go of them. So as I said before, you've got to get somewhere and move on, get it through and go back out.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you, Alexia Kalis from Kalis Hospitality,
My
for
pleasure.
joining Hospitality Huddle. Really appreciate your time. And I'll let you get back to your empire just in case someone is out there in the weeds and needs your help and mentorship. Make it until you become it. I love it.
It's good, isn't it? Take it. It's all yours.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.